Chapter 40-31. All right. Wang Xian nodded as he saw Qilin heading over to destroy the Forbidden Space Zone. With a wave of his arm, the Tai Chi Dragon Plate and 5 Elements Great Grindstone landed on him. Wang Xian's doppelgangers were in the 5 Elements Great Grindstone and Tai Chi Dragon Plate. He could also see the situation over there. If Qilin couldn't win, he would strike again. However, with the 5 Elements Great Grindstone and Tai Chi Dragon Plate, it shouldn't be a problem for Qilin to destroy the Forbidden Space Zone. Ha ha ha, boss, leave it to me! The Qilin bull laughed heartily, and with a flash, it flew into the black hole. Forbidden Space Zone, your doomsday is here. Die! Qilin roared as he entered the black hole. A terrifying aura enveloped the entire Forbidden Space Zone. The overwhelming aura of the demonic beast enveloped the entire lair of the Forbidden Space Zone. On their side, they could also hear his berserk roar. Wang Xian smiled faintly as he supported the black hole passage with his energy. He looked on expressionlessly. A strong enemy is invading. Oh no, what level is this demonic beast? All experts of the Forbidden Space Zone, get ready! Shout for the Lord of the Forbidden Space Zone to beat us up! Shout for our Laozu! The shocked and furious roars of the experts of the Forbidden Space Zone rang out from within the black hole. SSS. This? At this moment, all the experts and disciples of the Sacred Institute and Forbidden Grounds were dumbfounded. Their faces were filled with shock and horror. All of them were in disbelief, especially when they looked at the position of the black hole. All the experts couldn't help but tremble. This place was very far from the lair of the Forbidden Space Zone. And then, that holy son Wang Xian. No, Wang Xian, who was known as the Dragon King, had opened a passageway. What shocked them the most was the demonic beast that could speak human language just now. They couldn't tell how it did it, but it killed all the experts of the Forbidden Space Zone instantly. One had to know that there were Ninth Order sovereigns among them. This Ninth Order Universe sovereign expert was comparable to the Great Elder, Second Elder, and Granny Yuan of the Forbidden Water Zone. Such a terrifying expert was instantly killed by that demonic beast. What level of existence was that magical beast? Even if it wasn't a heavenly origin creation realm magical beast, it wasn't something a peak sovereign realm expert could compare to. In fact, it might even destroy the Forbidden Space Zone. In that case, such a terrifying existence was merely the mount of the Dragon King, the saint of Wang Xian. In that case, what kind of existence was this person? A terrifying thought suddenly appeared in their minds. Impossible? It couldn't be an existence above the ruler level, could it? Could it be the heavenly origin fortune? This? The flowing water forbidden area. Granny Yuan, the Great Elder, and the Second Elder of the flowing water forbidden land. Even the sovereign realm experts who had rushed over from the other forbidden lands, holy grounds, and sacred academy were dumbfounded when they saw this scene. The Qilin bull's strength was so powerful that it made them feel terrified and aghast. Even though that devil beast's strength hasn't reached the heavenly origin fortune realm, its battle prowess is more than enough to kill a peak sovereign realm expert. A peak sovereign realm expert from the thoughtful forbidden land muttered in shock. He looked at Wang Xian, who was floating in the air. Dumbfounded, completely dumbfounded. What kind of existence was this? Since when did such a terrifying expert appear in the universe of swords and sorcery? Such a horrifying expert. Was he the heavenly origin fortune realm? He felt that there was at least a 50% chance. Because if he wasn't the heavenly origin fortune realm, how could he have made such a terrifying devil beast his mount? Shocking! Shocking! At this time, Flowing Water Haolian, Lu Qingming, and several other experts and disciples of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land, even Su Fengxue, Qi Jiangping, Qi Xiaohe, and all the experts from the Forbidden Space were dumbfounded. All of them had participated in the killing of Long Yinhao. At this moment, they were in a daze. Especially the experts and disciples of the surrounding Forbidden Land. In the surrounding area, there were still several thousand experts and disciples from the Forbidden Space Zone. Just now, the Qilin bull had only killed a few of them. Many experts and disciples of the Forbidden Land were still gathered in the surroundings. In the end, that terrifying devil beast was already charging towards their lair in the Forbidden Land. It was going to destroy their Forbidden Land. As for the young figure in front, his strength was even more unfathomable. In fact, he seemed to be an existence of that realm. This? Damn brother-in-law, you! Long Hao stood there in a daze, his eyes wide open. At this moment, he was in a trance and similarly couldn't believe it. This brother-in-law of his? What kind of existence was this? Big brother Wang Xian, which one is you? Long Yin couldn't help but ask again, his small face also filled with shock. Both are me, there's no difference. Wang Xian looked at Long Yin and said with a smile. The body of the void divine dragon at the side gradually disappeared. Brother-in-law, big brother Wang Xian, is that your doppelganger? Your doppelganger? Long Yinhao asked in a daze. I guess so. Because of an accidental opportunity, I obtained a doppelganger and ordered it to cultivate the attributes. In essence, there's no difference. Wang Xian smiled and answered again. Then, big brother, are you the existence of heavenly origin fortune realm? Long Yinhao's eyes widened as he continued to ask. His question made the hearts of the surrounding people tighten as they stared at him. They looked at Wang Xian with some trepidation, waiting for his answer. Especially the great elder of the flowing water forbidden area and the others, who clenched their fists tightly. Whether he was the heavenly origin fortune realm or not was very important to them. Because the signal that Wang Xian had just expressed. It wasn't friendly to them. And the actions that they had shown just now had also provoked this existence. I haven't reached the realm yet. Wang Xian didn't hide and answered directly. His words made many people in the field heave a sigh of relief. But the next sentence made everyone's eyes widen. In terms of combat strength, I can only be sure after I clash with the heavenly origin fortune realm. This was Wang Xian's second sentence. Yes, next, he was going to clash with the heavenly origin fortune realm. The heavenly origin fortune realm experts of the sword and sorcery universe would also definitely clash with Wang Xian. Because next, after Wang Xian dealt with the forbidden space forbidden area, he was going to deal with the flowing water forbidden area. Some experts of the flowing water forbidden area had to die. This? Big brother brother-in-law, I'll be your brother-in-law from now on. You'll be my biggest thigh in the future. When Long Yinhao heard this, he roared with excitement. Chapter 4032. This, in the surroundings, all the experts from the sacred grounds and the sacred institute were listening to their conversation. Looking at this scene, their faces were filled with shock. In fact, many experts couldn't help but swallow a mouthful of saliva as they watched with their mouths agape. Who the hell was this person? This lord said that we'll know after clashing with the Sky Yuan and Creation Realm experts? What does he mean by that? I don't know. What kind of existence is he? Why didn't our sword and sorcery universe have such a character in the past? That Wang Xian saint seems to be just his doppelganger. No wonder he's so terrifying. However, why did he allow his doppelganger to cultivate the power of space? How did he do it? Look at the black hole. There's a huge battle going on there. All the experts and disciples were discussing through voice transmissions. Their faces were filled with shock. At this time, they looked at the black hole. From the black hole, they could vaguely see the situation in the forbidden space. There, a huge battle had already broken out. They could see a horrifying demonic beast wreaking havoc in the forbidden space. The demonic beast was exuding a monstrous aura. The scales on its body were flashing with special symbols. Around the demonic beast, a large number of experts from the forbidden space surrounded it and stared at it with vigilance. The Qilin bull roared deeply. The scales on its body exploded with terrifying power and attacked the surroundings. Block! The master of the forbidden space and the group of old ancestors of the forbidden space were shocked when they saw this. They immediately roared loudly. How did our forbidden space offend you? Why do you want to annihilate our forbidden space? A peak universe Lord Realm old ancestor of the forbidden space could feel the terrifying aura coming from the Qilin bull. He couldn't help but roar. The experts and disciples of the forbidden space are courting death. If my boss wants to annihilate you, no one can save you. The Qilin bull stared at them with a violent aura. As he spoke, the runes condensed into various kinds of violent magical beasts, covering the sky and covering the earth as they attacked the surroundings. Space Magical Array, activate! Mountain Defense Array, activate! One voice after another rang out. In the old lair of the forbidden space, all the experts and disciples in the forbidden space were hovering in the air with ugly expressions. They looked at the towering Qilin bull with fear. Their space forbidden zone had 4 universe ruler realm experts. In the past, they had believed that they were the strongest existences below the heavenly origin fortune level. But today, this magical beast that could speak the human tongue had suddenly charged over. They were terrified. They could clearly sense the terrifying energy contained within the demonic beast's body, which could easily destroy them. How was this possible? In addition, the magical beast's words made them feel terrified. His boss wanted to destroy their forbidden space zone? This caused all the experts from the forbidden space zone to look at the black hole. Over there might be an even more powerful existence. Could this existence be the fortune of Tianyuan? How did their forbidden space provoke such a terrifying existence? All the experts and disciples in the forbidden space were terrified. The Grand Mountain Protecting Array and the various array formations in the nest were all activated. Boom, boom, boom! Boom, boom, boom! Terrifying explosions rang out. The Qilin bull's attack landed on their array, causing their Grand Mountain Protecting Array to shake violently. The energy dissipated rapidly. Perhaps their Grand Mountain Protecting Array wouldn't last much longer. Attack! The master of the Forbidden Space Zone roared furiously. He wielded a huge sword and slashed at the Qilin bull. Around him, the other 3 universe ruler realm experts also started to counterattack. Roar, roar! The Qilin bull roared, its single horn emitting radiance. The Qilin bull soared into the sky, as though it was breaking through the sky. He lowered his head slightly. The terrifying energy from the Qilin bull's horn headed towards the sword of space. Boom, boom, boom! Boom, boom, boom! The Qilin bull's horn swept across, terrifying dark energy, earth and metal energy. The 3 elements chaotically gathered together. The Qilin bull's horn swept in all directions. Terrifying collision sounds rang out once again. The attacks of the 4 peak cosmos sovereigns in the forbidden space slowly crumbled when they collided with each other. But the Qilin bull's attack did not dissipate. How is this possible? What level is this demonic beast at? One of the ancestors of the forbidden space zone roared in shock. The Qilin bull stared at them, its body going berserk again. The scales on its body started to emit a blood-red aura. It started to transform. His entire body was covered in blood-red scales. His entire body was like a terrifying war machine. The Qilin bull directly charged towards one of the universe ruler realm experts of the forbidden space zone. That horn was flowing with light. Block! The experts of the forbidden space zone saw this and immediately roared, blocking. Boom, boom! However, against the Qilin bull's charge, all the energy that landed on it could not stop its body at all. The Qilin bull's incomparably huge body crashed towards the Grand Mountain Protecting Array of the forbidden space zone. His horn directly smashed through the formation. His body was squeezed inwards. Master of the forbidden space, the array is about to break! Horrified voices rang out. Especially the experts of the universe ruler realm below the 8th order. Without the protection of the array, just the shockwaves from the Qilin bull's attack would be enough to kill them. This battle was not something they could participate in. This demonic beast is too terrifying. Our forbidden space zone is no match for it. The master of the forbidden space zone trembled. His expression was incomparably solemn. His breathing was slightly hurried, and his eyes were bloodshot. All the experts and disciples of the forbidden space zone, enter the spatial Aquarius, quickly! At this moment, the Qilin Bull had already broken through their grand mountain protecting array. The runes on the scales turned into all kinds of demonic beasts, mountains, swords, and sabers that wreaked havoc in the surroundings. Ah! Ah! Some of the experts and disciples of the Forbidden Space Zone who were closer could not even react in time, and were crushed and killed by the terrifying attack. The Qilin Bull's gaze locked onto the master of the Forbidden Space Zone, and instantly charged towards him. Master of the Forbidden Space Zone, quickly escape! Let's all enter the spatial Aquarius, and seek help from Lord Tianyuan Fate. Seek help from Lord Tianyuan Fate. An ancestor of the Forbidden Space Zone saw the Qilin Bull lock onto the master of the Forbidden Space Zone, and shouted loudly. Chapter 40-33. Run! The master of the Forbidden Zone saw the Qilin Bull charging towards him. His heart trembled as he roared loudly. Run! He had to run. Otherwise, he would die here. Their Forbidden Zone had a treasure bottle that could protect their lives. However, entering the space bottle was something they would only use when they were in a desperate situation. They would only use it when facing a terrifying enemy like the creation of Sky Yuan. Moreover, this space bottle had a huge drawback. Once they entered, they would not be able to sense the situation outside. Moreover, once the space bottle was obtained by the enemy, they could only wait for death. However, this space bottle had a strong point. Once they entered, even the creation of Sky Yuan would find it difficult to break it. Unless they were in a desperate situation, they would never enter the Forbidden Zone to hide. However, they had also made some arrangements for this space bottle. As long as they entered the space bottle, it would instantly teleport them to an extremely distant and secretive place. At that time, they could quickly come out of the space bottle and escape. Of course, there was a certain level of risk. All the experts and disciples of the Forbidden Zone, hurry up and enter. We will hold them off for a while. The Patriarch of the Forbidden Zone roared loudly. The three patriarchs waved the space sword in their hands, and the terrifying power of space sliced through the void. They slashed towards the Qilin Bull. The Qilin Bull's body glowed brightly. He did not dodge at all and continued to attack the master of the Forbidden Zone. His speed was extremely terrifying. Under the powerful energy interference and fluctuations, the master of the Forbidden Zone could not teleport away. Without teleportation, his speed was much slower when facing the Qilin Bull. Amaterasu's sword! The master of the Forbidden Zone roared as the giant sword in his hand floated in front of him, forming a terrifying defense. Boom, boom, boom! However, at this moment, the Qilin Bull charged over. The giant sword was sent flying and landed on the body of the master of the Forbidden Zone. Pfft! The master of the Forbidden Zone spat out a large amount of blood and his face turned extremely pale. More than half of his body dissipated from the collision. With the circulation of energy, he reformed again. The strength of the Qilin Bull was not something they could contend with. Even though they were powerful spatial attribute experts, the Qilin Ox was, after all, an existence born from the fall of heaven's origin. Once it came into contact with the fortune of Tianyuan, it was not something they could compare to. Bam, bam, bam! The master of the Forbidden Space was heavily injured by the Qilin Bull. The attacks of the other three patriarchs from the Forbidden Space also landed on the Qilin Ox. His body froze. Buzz! Making use of this short period of time, the master of the Forbidden Space hurriedly teleported and escaped. Roar! The Qilin Bull let out a deep roar and the violent energy from its body swept out in all directions. No, no, no! Some of the experts who didn't manage to escape in time let out roars of despair. The three patriarchs of the Forbidden Space resisted the attack of the Qilin Bull with great difficulty. Their figures flashed and they instantly teleported towards the space Aquarius. Without the slightest hesitation, they directly entered the interior of the bottle. Since the arrival of the Qilin Ox, in the short span of 10 minutes, a large number of buildings in the Forbidden Space had been turned into ruins. All the experts and disciples fled into the vase. However, there were still hundreds of thousands of corpses of the experts and disciples of the forbidden space left in the surroundings. The number of experts and disciples in the forbidden space was very small. There were less than 1,000,000 of them in total. Now, at least 1/3 of them had died in a short period of time. This was a battle on a completely different level. They couldn't resist the Qilin bull at all. Roar! The Qilin bull sensed something when he saw them escaping instantly. He opened his mouth and spat out violent energy flames in one direction. Boom, boom, boom! The energy swept across and all the buildings were instantly turned into nothingness. Even a large area of the ground had disappeared. At the bottom, there was an intact vase in the middle. On the surface of the vase, there was a flickering space force. Are they trying to escape? At the same time, at the 8th level of the Devil Beast Abyss. On the courtyard, Wang Xian raised his eyebrows slightly as he looked at the battle in the black hole. The group of experts from the forbidden space actually didn't put up much resistance, and just wanted to escape directly? Even the Tai Chi Dragon Plate and the 5 Elements Grindstone had not started their attacks. They wanted to escape directly. Wang Xian had thought that the forbidden space would have a powerful trump card. Now, it seemed like it was just SOSO. It was a wise choice to escape, but Wang Xian couldn't let them leave. Wang Xian murmured. With a wave of his arm, the stellar field fragment instantly entered the black hole and appeared above the forbidden space. Stellar field seal. Wang Xian waved his arm and a wave of energy entered the stellar field fragment. Stellar field seal activated. Back when this stellar field fragment was in the hands of the experts from the Faith Cosmos, Wang Xian was sealed by them with the stellar field seal for a very long time. The Heaven Yuan Good Fortune fragment and stellar field seal instantly enveloped an area. At the center of the forbidden space, the space Aquarius trembled and gradually disappeared. One! In the next instant, the space Aquarius disappeared and performed a long-distance teleportation. However, in the second when the space Aquarius was teleported, an invisible and powerful energy enveloped it. This caused the teleportation to fail. It wasn't teleported to a fixed location, but to the edge of the stellar field fragment. This place was within the coverage of the stellar field fragment. It was also within Wang Xian's senses. Now, he could completely control the power of the entire stellar field fragment. With a thought, he could sense the location of the space Aquarius and control it. The entire forbidden space isn't a match for that demonic beast at all. They are actually fleeing. SSS, the 3 Laozu of the forbidden space, the master of the forbidden space, and the 4 Pinnacle Universe Lord Realm experts are no match for that demonic beast. How strong is this demonic beast? Now, the entire forbidden space is actually fleeing. Just now, hundreds of thousands of experts and disciples died in the forbidden space despite the protection of the array. If the battle continues, the entire forbidden space will be destroyed. The strength of this demonic beast is too terrifying. The battle only broke out for 10 minutes and the entire forbidden space is collapsing. It's too strong. This is unbelievable. Pinnacle Universe Lord Realm experts with space attribute. Why does it feel like the difference between them and that demonic beast is so huge? Chapter 40-34, Shocked. Shocked. When all the experts and disciples saw the situation at the Forbidden Space Zone, their faces were filled with shock. It was the 3rd strongest force in their universe. They were forced to flee by a magical beast. In fact, the pinnacle experts of the Universe Lord Realm didn't even have the desire to fight back. What did this mean? This meant that the experts of the Forbidden Space Zone knew that they were no match for this magical beast. Moreover, they heard the magical beast say that their boss wanted to annihilate them. In that case, how powerful would their boss be? Because of this, the master of the Forbidden Space Zone didn't flee immediately. Instead, he ordered all the experts and disciples to enter the space Aquarius. This was because they knew that even if another magical beast of this level came, they wouldn't even be able to escape. Once their aura was locked on, they wouldn't be able to escape from their pursuit in this universe. Therefore, they hid in the space Aquarius. As for the entire lair, all the resources and treasures in the forbidden space zone, they could only give up on them. In this universe, no treasures could defend against such a powerful attack. In the courtyard of the 8th floor of the magical beast abyss, everyone looked at this scene in shock. Such a powerful forbidden space was destroyed in such a short time. All the experts had fled. This shocked and made their hair stand on end. They looked at the figure, their faces filled with horror. Especially the surrounding experts and disciples of the forbidden space zone. At this moment, their hearts were filled with fear and despair. They had seen with their own eyes how their forbidden space zone was destroyed. They had seen with their own eyes how the forbidden space zone was destroyed. At this moment, Qilin saw the experts of the forbidden space zone entering a space Aquarius. Seeing the space Aquarius disappear, he couldn't help but roar. "Boss, the experts of the forbidden space zone have entered the space Aquarius. I can sense the aura of the space Aquarius. I'll chase after them." Qilin could sense that the space Aquarius was still within his range of detection. He immediately looked towards the black hole and reported to Wang Xian. "No need. Come back." Wang Xian shook his head at him. He waved his arm and the space within the stellar domain fragment began to shrink. Following which, the stellar domain fragment flew towards the black hole with the space Aquarius imprisoned. The Qilin bull sensed that the space Aquarius was flying towards them again, and was slightly surprised. "Boss is mighty! Boss is invincible!" The Qilin bull howled like a licking dog and quickly flew towards the black hole. Upon hearing this, Wang Xian chuckled. Not far from the Qilin, the 5 elements great grindstone, and the Tai Chi dragon plate began to search for treasures in the forbidden space. Buzz! At this moment, the space bottle passed through the black hole and flew towards Wang Xian. "Not good! Our forbidden space's spatial Aquarius has been obtained by him. It's over, it's over. How did he get it just now? Didn't the spatial Aquarius already teleport away? Oh no, it's over. Our forbidden space is finished." At this moment, the experts and disciples of the forbidden space zones around Wang Xian saw the space Aquarius flying towards Wang Xian. A look of despair appeared on their faces. They knew that all the experts and disciples of the forbidden space were hiding inside the spatial bottles. Now that Wang Xian had obtained it, they were completely finished. "Grand Elder of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land, save our forbidden land, save our forbidden land. We are also the strongest people in our universe, and also the main fighting force in the war against the cataclysm in the future. Save our forbidden land." An expert of the forbidden space hurriedly looked at the great elder of the flowing water forbidden space and begged for help. Now, only the 2 lords of the flowing water forbidden space and the obscene forbidden space could save their forbidden space. That holy son Wang Xian was too terrifying, too strong. At this moment, the great elder of the flowing water forbidden space, the second elder, and the other pinnacle sovereigns of the obscene forbidden space and other sacred grounds, as well as the sacred institute. They were also looking at this scene with shock and disbelief. The strength of that demonic beast was too terrifying. And that holy son Wang Xian, although he did not display his strength, he directly opened up a black hole that connected to the forbidden space. With a wave of his arm, the life-saving trump card of the forbidden space flew over. Just these 2 moves alone were enough to shock them. The great elder of the flowing water forbidden space had even passed on the urgent news to the lord of the forbidden space. He even asked the lord of the forbidden space to contact Lord Creation of Tianyuan immediately. In fact, the matter at the obscene forbidden space had nothing to do with them. However, with the appearance of an existence that was suspected to be comparable to Creation of Tianyuan, they immediately contacted the Lord of the Forbidden Space and ordered him to contact Creation of Tianyuan. Seems like destroying a forbidden space is a piece of cake." At this moment, Wang Xian's voice sounded. At this moment, he was holding a palm-sized spatial Aquarius in his hand. Sensing the entire spatial Aquarius, he smiled. He could sense that there was another space within the spatial Aquarius. In fact, He could even contact the experts of the forbidden space within the spatial Aquarius. However, he realized that he could not break this spatial Aquarius. The entire spatial Aquarius was a very powerful treasure. It was not a treasure of creation of Tian Yuan, but it was very unique. It was indeed a good life-saving item. However, it was also of little value. If the opponent obtained it, it would basically be a dead end for them. This time, they were in Wang Xian's hands. This also meant that the life and death of the forbidden space was already in his hands. Whoosh! Whoosh! The great elder of the flowing water forbidden space breathed a little faster when he saw this. He suppressed the shock in his heart and looked at Wang Xian. My lord, Lord creation of flowing water forbidden space and Lord creation of Tian Yuan from the obscene forbidden space should be rushing over here soon. The matter of the forbidden space offending you will be dealt with by you later, he said with his head lowered. He could not help but speak. Didn't you say that the flowing water forbidden space and void dragon forbidden space would not interfere? Why? Now your lord creation of Tian Yuan wants to intervene? Wang Xian looked at the great elder of the flowing water forbidden land and smirked. All right, come on then. Next, I want the heavenly Yuan creation art of the flowing water forbidden land to give me an explanation. If he can't satisfy me, unless his strength can suppress me. As he spoke with a smile, he suddenly looked up and his dragon eyes narrowed slightly. If he can suppress me easily, then everything will be over. Otherwise, someone from the flowing water forbidden space will die, he shouted coldly as he stared at the top of his head. Chapter 40-35, Wang Xian said coldly. He looked above him. Above him, his dragon eyes pierced through the layers of devil-beast abyss. He could see straight to the top. He saw a woman with terrifying energy flying towards him. That woman also lowered her head and looked below. She seemed to have sensed Wang Xian's gaze. She sensed the energy in Wang Xian's body. All of a sudden, the roar of a divine dragon reverberated around Wang Xian, following which, an unparalleled aura burst out from his body. A divine dragon gathered in the sky above Wang Xian. The divine dragon was millions of kilometers long. With invincible aura and energy, it charged upwards. The moment the divine dragon appeared, everyone was stunned. All the experts and disciples in the surroundings felt a pressure that came from their souls. They were trembling with fear. They felt incomparably shocked. Rumble! The divine dragon flew up into the sky. Rumble! Rumble! In the next second, the terrifying devil-beast abyss and the thick layers of ground were penetrated by the divine dragon. The divine dragon continued to attack upwards. Wang Xian stood there and looked up. The divine dragon broke through the entire devil-beast abyss. This scene shocked everyone. Everyone was horrified. Such power wasn't something an expert at the pinnacle of the universe Lord realm could achieve. All they saw was the divine dragon opening up a passage to the 7th level and continuing to fly upwards. 111. At this moment, they could feel the entire devil-beast abyss trembling. They could feel that the entire devil-beast abyss was about to collapse at any time. Above them, there was also a wave of terrifying energy heading towards the divine dragon. That was water attribute energy. All the water attribute experts could sense it. What kind of attack is this? How can there be such a terrifying attack? What kind of magical beast is that? Oh my God! That Saint Wang Xian is definitely not much weaker than Tian Yuan Zhao Hua. There is a wave of water attribute energy attack above us. Terrifying water attribute energy. This is definitely Lord Tian Yuan Zhao Hua from the flowing water forbidden area. She is the one who initiated the attack. Oh no! Once they start fighting, we will definitely be annihilated. When the surrounding people saw Wang Xian's sudden attack, they were horrified. They felt their scalps go numb. They felt as though their souls were trembling. In the face of this terrifying energy and might, even though they were existences at the universe ruler level, they felt incomparably tiny. Once a battle of this level really broke out, all of them had to die. Boom! At this moment, they heard a terrifying collision sound coming from above. They seemed to have seen a certain level of the magical beast abyss disappear under this terrifying energy. They saw a blurry figure shrouded in water energy flying towards them. Looking at that figure, Wang Xian revealed a smile. This strike. Wang Xian was here to test the strength of the creation realm experts of Heavenly Yuan. From this test, Wang Xian could sense that the other party's strength wasn't much stronger than his. The aftermath of his attack was something that the flowing water Forbidden Land's heavenly primal fortune could not completely resist. This also meant that his opponent's strength was not enough to crush him. Our flowing water Forbidden Zone's Lord Tianyuan Good Fortune is here. Our Lord is here. When the surrounding experts and disciples of the flowing water Forbidden Zone saw the imposing figures shrouded in water energy, they immediately exclaimed, "Greetings, Lord Tianyuan Good Fortune! Greetings, Lord Tianyuan Good Fortune!" They quickly knelt on the ground and greeted. In the surrounding area, the experts from the other forbidden grounds and sacred colleges also knelt on the ground respectfully. In the sky, that figure flew over from the huge passageway that Wang Xian had created. It was as though she was the only person in the entire magical beast abyss. It was as though the entire world was under her control. She was the master of the entire world. Heavenly Yuan Good Fortune. The true Heavenly Yuan Good Fortune. However, at this moment, this Heavenly Yuan Good Fortune was staring at Wang Xian with a slight change in expression. She did not even look at the surrounding people. She stared at Wang Xian's face and sensed his aura. "You are not a living being of our sword and sorcery universe," she said to Wang Xian. "Oh? You can tell?" Upon hearing her words, Wang Xian raised an eyebrow and smiled. "That's true. You are the Heavenly Yuan Good Fortune of the sword and sorcery universe. You should be able to sense it." "Huh? What?" However, the words of the flowing water Forbidden Land's divine origin creation stage powerhouse shocked everyone around them. What? This holy son Wang Xian was not a living being of their sword and sorcery universe. He was not from their universe? How could this be possible? "I can sense an aura from you. What's the relationship between you and Lord Water Divine Dragon?" The Heavenly Yuan Good Fortune expert from the Flowing Water Forbidden Zone continued. Wang Xian was slightly taken aback by her words. Water Divine Dragon. This Heavenly Yuan Good Fortune of the Flowing Water Forbidden Zone actually knew Lord Water Divine Dragon from the Divine Dragon race? Wang Xian's heart skipped a beat as he thought of the Book of Water Forbidden Spells and the passageway that led to this universe. He understood something. A long time ago, a great war broke out between the Divine Dragon race and the Insect race. Both the Divine Dragon race and the Insect race were annihilated, including our Lord Water Divine Dragon. She fell in that war. I'm just a junior who inherited her legacy. She rebuilt the glory of the Divine Dragon race and came to your sword and sorcery universe through the passageway hundreds of millions of years ago. What's your relationship with Senior Water Divine Dragon? Wang Xian did not hide anything as he asked her directly. Lord Water Divine Dragon has fallen? The Heavenly Yuan Good Fortune of the Flowing Water Forbidden Zone felt emotional, and the surrounding water energy fluctuated. During the last cataclysm, our sword and sorcery universe was in danger. I happened to meet Lord Water Divine Dragon and received some pointers from her. We made some deals, and that's how I was able to break through to the Heavenly Yuan Good Fortune realm. The Heavenly Yuan Good Fortune of the Flowing Water Forbidden Zone said as she looked at Wang Xian. I didn't expect Lord Water Divine Dragon to fall. However, you have inherited the Divine Dragon race. Your potential is strong and terrifying. You're too humble. I still have a long way to go before I reach the Heavenly Yuan Good Fortune realm. Wang Xian replied plainly. The Heavenly Yuan Good Fortune of the Flowing Water Forbidden Zone actually had a relationship with Senior Water Divine Dragon. This was something Wang Xian had not expected. The scene of the Heavenly Yuan Good Fortune of the Flowing Water Forbidden Zone meeting Senior Water Divine Dragon was completely different from what he had expected. Chapter 4036. This, Our Lord Tianyuan Zhao Hua of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land actually has some relationship with this expert from another universe, the Dragon King? This daunting Saint Wang Xian's predecessor actually guided our Lord Tianyuan Fate of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land to break through? How could there be such a coincidence? In that case, how will our Lord Tianyuan Fate of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land resolve this matter? Who would have thought that Lord Tianyuan Fate of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land would have such a close relationship with this Wang Xian? The conversation between Wang Xian and the heavenly origin creation realm expert of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land shocked all the surrounding experts and disciples. This? There was actually a trace of a relationship. In that case, how would Lord Tianyuan Fate of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land resolve this matter? How would he resolve this situation? Everyone was shocked beyond words. No one had expected things to develop to this stage. Buzz! Buzz! At this moment, the surrounding space trembled slightly. A figure radiating with golden light gradually appeared at the side. The golden light dissipated, revealing a burly figure standing there. This was an old man holding a huge axe in his hand. The old man exuded boundless majesty. The terrifying sharpness was not concealed at all. The moment the old man appeared, all the surrounding experts who were wielding metal attribute swords fell to the ground uncontrollably. It was as though they were under immense pressure. Some of the metal element experts felt themselves to be incomparably small. This old man seemed to be in control of their lives and had the power to decide their life and death. Greetings, Lord Tianyuan Fate of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land! Greetings, Lord Tianyuan Fate of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land! The group of experts and disciples from the embroiled Forbidden Land hurriedly knelt on the ground again and greeted loudly when they saw the old man. The rest of the experts and disciples from the Sacred Grounds and Sacred Institute also knelt on the ground and greeted loudly. The two experts from the Sword and Sorcery Universe, Tianyuan Fate of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land, had both arrived. Wang Xian looked at the old man with flickering eyes. Lulan, what's going on? The old man looked at Tianyuan Fate of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land and asked. I haven't asked? This is an expert from the Nine Essences universe. He's the successor of the Divine Dragon clan. Lulan shook her head and introduced to the old man. After which, she turned to Wang Xian and asked, How do I address you, Dragon King? Why did you destroy the forbidden space? My name is Wang Xian. He looked at the two creation realm experts from the Sword and Sorcery universe and continued, As for why you want to destroy the forbidden land of space, you can ask the disciples and experts under you. The Divine Dragon tribe of the Nine Essences universe. The creation of heavenly primordial realm elder from the obscene forbidden land muttered to himself. His eyes shone as he looked at his subordinates from the obscene forbidden land. Patriarch. A peak sovereign realm expert shouted respectfully before transmitting his voice to Wang Xiaolong. In the Flowing Water Forbidden Land, the Grand Elder of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land hurriedly reported. He didn't dare to hide anything. He didn't dare to tell any lies. This is Wang Xian, Dragon King. The Forbidden Land of Space belongs to the experts of our Sword and Sorcery universe. It's a powerful force in our universe. The cataclysm is coming, and there are other ways to resolve it. The creation of heavenly primordial realm expert from the obscene forbidden land frowned slightly and looked at Wang Xian. The strength of Wang Xian's attack just now. He had already felt it. He had also felt the 9 elemental energies contained in Wang Xian's body. Although he hadn't reached the creation of heavenly primordial realm, his terrifying combat strength was no weaker than theirs. Against an expert of this level, he didn't dare to be aggressive. He couldn't be aggressive either. I'm not an expert from your Sword and Sorcery universe. Upon hearing him, Wang Xian replied plainly. How does the Dragon King intend to resolve this? Lulan looked at Wang Xian and asked. The Forbidden Land of Space has brought about its own destruction. Apart from the Forbidden Land of Space, there's also the Flowing Water Forbidden Land. As a creation of heavenly primordial realm expert, and the strongest expert in the Flowing Water Forbidden Land, I hope you can give me a complete answer. Wang Xian looked at Lu Lan without any intention of backing down. He had said that both his and Long Yinhao's matters needed a complete solution. If they didn't give him a solution, they would have to pay the price. What's the matter? The water energy around Lu Lan dissipated, revealing her face. It was the face of a woman. At this moment, she was also frowning slightly as she looked at Wang Xian. Unless it was absolutely necessary, they didn't want to be enemies with Wang Xian. Because once they really started fighting, in the center of their sword and sorcery universe, they couldn't afford to bear the consequences. Especially before the cataclysm. If a terrifying war really broke out, it would almost be a declaration that the cataclysm was coming. Their sword and sorcery universe would disappear completely. It would be conquered. Therefore, both the creation of heavenly primordial realm experts from the flowing water forbidden land and the creation of heavenly primordial realm experts from the flowing water forbidden land were suppressing their dissatisfaction. Hundreds of millions of years ago, you issued an order forbidding the disciples in your universe from killing each other. However, I have a younger brother here, a disciple of your sword and sorcery universe, who was attacked and killed by a disciple of your flowing water forbidden land. In addition, today, the leader of your flowing water forbidden land shielded his grandson and pretended that nothing had happened. I need an explanation for this. Wang Xian answered Lu Lan. Upon hearing Wang Xian's words, Lu Lan frowned even more tightly. A cold glint flashed in her eyes. She looked at the group of experts and disciples of the flowing water forbidden land below. My lord, this matter. The great elder and second elder of the flowing water forbidden land heard Wang Xian's words. Seeing the anger on Lu Lan's face, they quickly knelt on the ground again and wanted to explain. There's no need to explain. Just tell me everything, Lu Lan said to them calmly. Yes, my lord. Upon hearing the words of their creation of heavenly primordial realm expert, the great elder of the flowing water forbidden land and the rest didn't dare to hide anything. They recounted everything in full detail. TSK, he didn't even listen to our orders. I think Xiao He has really become the leader of the flowing water forbidden land and has forgotten who he is. Upon hearing the outcome of the matter, Lu Lan snorted coldly. Her words sent shivers down everyone's spines. In their universe, the only people who dared to speak to the leaders of the flowing water forbidden land in such a manner were probably these two. Abolish his position as the leader of the flowing water forbidden land and lock him in the flowing water prison until the cataclysm arrives. Lu Lan continued coldly. As her voice trailed off, no one dared to speak. All of them lowered their heads. Everyone could feel the depressing atmosphere around them. It was as though the sky had collapsed. Chapter 40-37. When the creation realm experts of Sky Yuan were enraged, the sky would collapse and the earth would sink. With just a change in their mood, the entire space seemed to change along with them. No one would have thought that the master of the flowing water forbidden land would suffer such a terrible punishment just because he shielded his own grandson. Below, Lu Shuihaoyan's body was trembling violently. Cold sweat was dripping down his face. His face was full of horror and despair. He had not expected this matter to escalate to such an extent. He had not expected the forbidden land of space to be destroyed because of his actions against Long Yinhao. Even the two Sky Origin creation stage powerhouses of their universe were alarmed. He had a premonition that he was probably done for. Completely done for. Dragon King, I'll get to the bottom of this matter. I'll settle everything. Lu Lan looked at Wang Xian and said, According to the rules you announced, all those who violate the rules will die. For your sake, Senior Lu Lan, those disciples involved in this matter will be killed immediately, and will not be resurrected. In addition, the masters and elders of the Forbidden Land who shielded him may be spared from death, but they will not escape punishment. All of their strength will be crippled. Wang Xian looked at her and said. His words caused Lu Lan's expression to change slightly, and she looked a little unhappy. Dragon King, isn't this request a little too much? Lu Lan looked at Wang Xian with a sullen expression as she spoke. Not at all. You must abide by the rules you set yourself. I don't want an outsider like me to interfere. Wang Xian looked at her calmly and answered. His tone was full of dominance. We will settle the matters of our sword and sorcery universe internally. Off to the side, the creation realm divine essence cultivator from the thoughtful forbidden land also spoke up coldly. Since you want to shield him, then I'll settle it myself. Wang Xian swept his gaze across them and smiled. A wave of energy enveloped Long Yinhao and Long Yining. He looked around, and with a wave of his hand, the book of water forbidden spells floated above him. The stellar domain fragment turned into a planet and came below Wang Xian. At the same time, a wave of pressure slowly enveloped the surroundings. Under this pressure, Wang Xian could kill everyone except the Pinnacle Universe Sovereigns and the Ninth Order Universe Sovereigns with a single thought. Water Forbidden Spell Book! Lu Lan saw that Wang Xian did not give them any face and was not afraid of them at all. Looking at the fragment of the Book of Water Forbidden Curse above him, he said with an ugly expression. 2 pieces of heaven's fortune treasure! The creation realm divine essence cultivators from the obscene forbidden land looked extremely grim as well. They stared at the star-field fragment beneath Wang Xian with the same bitter expression. The atmosphere instantly froze. Hoo-hoo! Hoo-hoo! In the surroundings, all the experts from the sacred grounds and the forbidden grounds watched this scene with rapid breathing. They felt as if they were going to die at any moment. The terrifying atmosphere caused them to feel incomparably stifled, making it hard for them to breathe. Some of the weaker ones began to tremble violently. Fear. If they really fought, would they be able to survive? It would probably be very, very difficult. Dragon King, are you threatening us? Lu Lan's face darkened when she saw this scene, and she spoke again. Yes. Wang Xian nodded his head. Although Lu Lan was related to the Water Divine Dragon, it was only a relationship. What did it have to do with him? Some people in the flowing water forbidden land had to pay the price for their mistakes. Otherwise, it would mean that they were not giving him face. In that case, there was no need for Wang Xian to give Lu Lan face. Your combat strength is strong, but you have not reached the creation realm. If Lu Lan and I join forces, do you really think we can't kill you? The creation realm divine essence experts from the obscene forbidden land raised the golden axe in their hands and stared at Wang Xian coldly. You wouldn't dare! Wang Xian looked at them and spoke without a shred of fear. If the two of them joined forces, Wang Xian would definitely not be their match. However, Wang Xian was still very confident that he could escape by himself. Wang Xian guessed that they wouldn't dare to make a move. Of course, they might have their own trump cards, or they might dare to make a move. However, Wang Xian felt that the possibility was low. They wouldn't dare to make a move. If they did, their losses would be even greater. Then, do you dare to make a move? Lu Lan stared at Wang Xian with a dark expression and asked coldly. Hee. Wang Xian chuckled and lifted his palms slowly. Lu Lan's eyes narrowed, and the water around her began to swirl. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Rumble, rumble, rumble. However, just as Wang Xian was about to make a move to kill the Great Elder and Second Elder of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land, suddenly, a terrifying aura came from below. A demonic pillar suddenly shot up from below. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Heaven and earth shook. Heaven and earth resonated. The floors of the magical beast abyss above vanished into thin air. Yes, from the first floor to the 8th floor, there was originally a thick layer of soil separating them. However, this layer of soil had disappeared. A mighty and violent sound came from the heavens and earth. The terrifying, devastating aura came from below, acting as the heaven and earth. Ha 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 ha! I've finally broken through! Creation Realm Divine Essence, Creation Realm Divine Essence, I'm finally going to live another life! Following which, an extremely excited and violent voice sounded. Wang Xian was stunned by the sudden scene. It also stunned Lu Lan and the Creation Realm Divine Essence experts from the obscene Forbidden Land. Their faces were filled with astonishment as they looked down. A breakthrough. Someone had actually broken through to the creation realm divine essence. The ninth floor of the magical beast abyss. An expert had broken through to the creation realm divine essence. A sky demon god has broken through. Boss, a sky demon god has broken through. Hearing this voice and feeling this aura, Qilin was also shocked. He roared in disbelief. Yes, I didn't expect him to break through. When Wang Xian heard the news, he revealed an embarrassed expression. If not for the sudden incident with Longing Hao, he would have come here this time. He was prepared to kill a sky demon god once and for all, and then let Qilin devour him. Perhaps Qilin could also break through to the creation realm divine essence in the future. When that time comes, the Dragon Palace would have 2 creation realm divine essence experts. At that time, even if they returned to the Nine Source universe, they would not be afraid of the Phoenix clan and the Angel clan. But to his surprise, a sky demon god had broken through. To him, this was not good news. To the entire sword and sorcery universe, this was even worse news. In fact, a sky demon god's breakthrough would destroy the entire sword and sorcery universe. Chapter 4038. At this moment, Wang Xian did not look too good. However, Lu Lan and the creation realm divine essence cultivators from the Silence Forbidden Land looked even more panic-stricken than before. Now they were even more alarmed, especially after they heard the Qilin Bull's words. Their eyes were wide open, filled with disbelief and shock. In the sword and magic universe, if a divine origin creation level expert were to be born, it would be a blessing for the entire universe. It was the greatest fortune of the entire universe. But now, in the 9th level of the magical beast abyss, there was actually a creature that had broken through to the heavenly origin creation realm. Especially after hearing about the Aga heavenly demon god mentioned by the Qilin Bull. Their expressions were extremely panicked. In the last cataclysm, it was a heavenly demon god who led his army to invade the sword and magic universe. A group of clans in the void universe was also trying to fish in troubled waters. At that time, their sword and magic universe only had one divine origin creation level expert. That expert was an elder from the austere Forbidden Land. At that time, he had fought against a heavenly fiend celestial alone, and he was the only one who could block him. He couldn't care less about the rest of the invaders. This allowed their army to invade the center of the sword and magic universe. It caused the entire sword and magic universe to suffer incomparably tragic losses. Later on, Lu Lan's breakthrough alleviated the crisis of the sword and magic universe. Only then did they manage to drive a heavenly demon god away. Although they had severed the limbs of Aga Sky demon god in that battle, they had also suffered varying degrees of damage during the battle. This was especially true for Lu Lan. After the cataclysm ended, it took her more than 10 billion years to fully recover from her injuries. They were both at the divine origin realm, but their battle was extremely terrifying. This was especially true for a veteran heavenly primordial creation like the Aga heavenly demon god. Even after Lu Lan had broken through and joined forces with the creation of heavenly primordial essence of the Forbidden Land, they still couldn't kill it completely. In that battle, countless lives were lost. In that battle, there were countless casualties. There were only tens of millions of creatures left in the sword and magic universe. One had to know that there were trillions of living beings in a universe. This was the terror of the Cataclysm War. This was the disaster that a heavenly demon god had brought to their universe. Now, they couldn't understand why a sky demon god would appear in their sword and magic universe. Why would the Aga Sky Fiend Celestial break through to the heavenly essence creation realm? What was going on? Aga Sky Devil God? You said he's Aga Sky Devil God, but how can you be sure that the one who broke through is Aga Sky Devil God? Lu Lan's body trembled as she looked at Wang Xian and couldn't help but ask. That's because the Qilin ox was born from the limbs of the Aga Heavenly Devil God. Not long ago, I ran into him. Wang Xian looked at her and replied plainly. Boss, that a heavenly fiend god broke through without devouring me. This, The Qilin bull's expression turned ugly. Once the Aga Sky Demon God broke through, he would never be able to step into the Tianyuan creation realm in the future, because the road ahead of him was blocked. If a heavenly demon god didn't die, he could forget about breaking through. There's no other way. Wang Xian shook his head and looked at Lu Lan and Tianyuan of the thoughtful Forbidden Land. He said coldly, "Things are going to get interesting. If you guys can't come to an agreement with this Aya Sky Demon God, I'm afraid at least half of the living beings in the sword and sorcery universe will perish." Hee hee. He laughed coldly as his mind raced. He looked at the Great Elder and the rest of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land and continued, "When the time comes, Aya Sky Demon God might not be the only one making a move." Lu Lan and the Tianyuan creation realm experts from the thoughtful Forbidden Land were shocked when they heard Wang Xian. "Ha ha ha, Lu Lan, Wang Tian, I can sense your auras." "Old friend, ha ha ha, old friend, I can sense your auras. If it weren't for you guys in the previous Cataclysm War, I wouldn't have fallen. Fortunately, I made some arrangements. Ha ha ha, this time, I'm going to turn your sword and sorcery universe into a bloodbath." At this moment, the violent and cruel voice continued to ring from the 9th level of the Devil Beast Abyss. Boom! Following which, a horrifying figure flew out from below. The figure was covered with blood-red wings. His entire body was covered with spikes. On his head, there were more than a dozen blood-red eyes. Each eye was half a meter in size. What was even more horrifying was that there was a hideous face in each eye. His entire body was like a terrifying demon from the abyss. He came out from the 9th level of the Devil Beast Abyss, his blood-red eyes fixed on Lu Lan and the Tianyuan creation realm experts from the thoughtful Forbidden Land. Wuang Tian. The faces in each of their eyes were filled with ferocity and excitement. He was back. If not for the injuries from the previous Cataclysm War, he wouldn't have died. He was going to make the sword and sorcery universe pay a terrible price. He was going to turn the sword and sorcery universe into a bloodbath. "Aya Sky, it's really you!" When Wu Wantian saw Aga Sky Devil God flying out, his body trembled. His eyes were bloodshot as he roared, "Aya Sky Demon God! It's him!" In the previous Cataclysm, the Aya Sky Demon God who killed countless living beings in their sword and sorcery universe. Lu Lan stared at him, her expression changing drastically. They had yet to settle Wang Xian's matter. In the end. Then, Aya Sky Demon God suddenly appeared, a mortal enemy. Could it be that the heavens wanted to annihilate their sword and sorcery universe? He, Lu Lan, Wang Tian, did you not expect this? Ha ha ha, over the past hundreds of millions of years, I let countless magical beasts train with you, just to buy time for me to break through. I still succeeded. You guys are still as stupid as ever. As Aya Sky Demon God spoke, he extended his blood-red tongue, which was hundreds of meters long, and licked the bone spikes on his arm. His dozen or so eyes turned even redder. "It's been a long time since I've drunk blood to my heart's content." As he spoke, his wings flapped slightly. Just like a terrifying demon that could destroy the world. Lu Lan's and Wu Wangtian's expressions changed drastically when they heard his words. In the Flowing Water Forbidden Land, all those who broke the rules, participated in the killing of Long Yinghao, and were involved in this matter, kill yourselves to atone for your sins. Lu Lan turned around and looked coldly at all the experts and disciples of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land. Her voice was filled with murderous intent. Wang Xian didn't have much enmity with them. It could even be said that they could resolve it. The reason why she didn't agree just now was because Wang Xian was too domineering. He had come to their sword and sorcery universe, meddled in their affairs, and even wanted to kill their experts. Naturally, she wouldn't agree so easily. But now, she had no other choice. Now, it was no longer about crippling the master of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land, the Great Elder, and the rest. Instead, it was about killing them. Chapter 4039, Decided. At this moment, Lu Lan knew what to do. The sudden appearance of a heavenly demon god forced them to alleviate the situation on Wang Xian's side. Otherwise, what if Wang Xian intervened when they were fighting a heavenly demon god? Then their entire sword and magic universe would really be destroyed. So at this time, she directly ordered everyone involved in this matter to commit suicide. What? My lord, my lord! Down below, the great elder of the flowing water forbidden zone and the others trembled violently when he heard those words. Their faces were filled with despair and fear. He shouted at Lu Lan with a face full of panic. His face was full of pleading. Their hearts were filled with terror. Don't make me say it a second time. I established the flowing water forbidden zone to protect the entire universe. If the sword and magic universe suffers heavy losses because of you, then there's no need for the flowing water forbidden zone to exist. Lu Lan gritted her teeth. This matter was originally the fault of their flowing water forbidden zone's powerhouses. At this time, if the entire sword and magic universe were to face the crisis of destruction because of some of the higher-ups and powerhouses of the flowing water forbidden land, the entire flowing water forbidden zone was a sinner. Then what was the point of her establishing the flowing water forbidden zone? Lu Lan's expression was incomparably cold as she swept her gaze over all the experts and disciples of the flowing water forbidden land. Why? How could this be? How could this be? At the side, Lu Shui and Haoyan were completely stunned. He looked at this scene in disbelief. He couldn't believe his own ending. He had never thought that just because he had brought people to attack Longing Hao, he would be killed. The entire spatial forbidden land would be destroyed, and his grandfather, the master of the flowing water forbidden land, would face death. This was something he had never imagined. This shocked him. He was terrified. Sir, we are sinners, we are sinners! When the second elder of the flowing water forbidden zone heard Lu Lan's words, his face was filled with bitterness. He slapped his body with his palm, and his vitality quickly dissipated. Second elder! In the surrounding area, the powerhouses of the flowing water forbidden land shouted in a low voice. The second elder of the flowing water forbidden land had committed suicide. Everyone was shocked when they saw this. However, everything that happened today was too shocking for them. Wang Xian's terrifying strength. The sudden appearance of the Aga heavenly demon god. Especially the Aya heavenly demon god, who was the mortal enemy of the sword and magic universe. Next, their sword and magic universe would probably welcome a disaster. Now, the death of the flowing water forbidden land's second elder was somewhat insignificant. You can bully others if you're strong, but once someone has a stronger background, then you'll be the one to die. It's very fair, said a pinnacle universe ruler from the obscene forbidden land. If you are strong, you can kill people without taking responsibility. However, if others were strong and dared to kill, the price they would have to pay would be extremely heavy. This was something that everyone understood. The death of the flowing water forbidden zone's second elder was an order from the heaven origin creation realm experts, and they had no choice but to do so. Because his opponent was very strong. Jia, Wu Wang Tian, Lu Lan, my revenge is about to begin. He. At this moment, a heavenly demon god roared fearlessly in front of him. He flapped his wings, and a series of berserk bone spurs floated behind him. They attacked them indiscriminately. Attack directly. The Aga Sky Fiend Celestial did not hesitate in the slightest. He attacked with a killing move. Alone, he was naturally not a match for Wu Wang Tian and Lu Lan. However, his goal was not to kill Wu Wang Tian and Lu Lan. Instead, he wanted to kill the experts and living beings of the sword and magic universe. He wanted the sword and magic universe to be plunged into misery and suffering, and blood to flow like rivers. He was also confident that the chances of Lu Lan and Wu Wang Tian stopping or killing him were very, very small. At the heaven origin creation realm, if two people wanted to kill one, they would only be able to suppress one in terms of strength. Otherwise, it would be too difficult to kill a heaven origin creation realm expert. Damn it, Aya Tian, I'm going to kill you once and for all this time. Wu Wang Tian's eyes turned bloodshot when he saw the Aga Sky Fiend Celestials attack. He raised the golden battle axe in his hand and slashed at him. Golden light enveloped the entire area. It slashed directly at the Aga Sky Fiend Celestial. Lu Lan's expression changed slightly when she saw this. He waved his hand, and a staff appeared in his hand. Buzz! He waved the staff forward, and a water screen enveloped everyone. All the experts and disciples in the surroundings felt the pressure lessen. They panted heavily. In a battle of this level, even the slightest shockwave would kill them instantly. The battle of the Heaven Origin Creation Realm was too terrifying. Dragon King, I hope we can forget about this. To express our apologies, I'll give you the Heaven Origin Creation Realm fragment, a part of the Book of Water Forbidden Spells after this battle. Lu Lan looked at Wang Xian. With a wave of her arm, a book of water forbidden spells appeared in front of her. I'm a man of my word, she said to Wang Xian with a serious face. All right, as long as you can give me a satisfactory answer, I won't make a move, Wang Xian replied. His gaze was fixed on the position in front of him. The Heaven Origin Creation Realm of Innocence Forbidden Land, Wu Wang Tian, slashed at the Aga Sky Fiend Celestial. However, the Aga Sky Fiend Celestial didn't face it head-on. Instead, he kept dodging. He kept releasing long-range attacks. Streaks of energy raged towards them. If not for Lu Lan's defense, this place would have been in ruins. Among everyone here, only the Ninth Order Universe Sovereigns and Pinnacle Sovereigns could survive. Wu Wang Tian's strength was terrifying. The golden battle axe slashed forward, and the golden radiance split the void, forming a horrifying galaxy river. Aga Sky, if you have the guts, let's face it head-on. Seeing the Aga Sky Fiend Celestial dodging, Wu Wang Tian roared with cold eyes. GGG, Wu Wang Tian, do you think I'm as stupid as you? From now on Jation will become the nightmare of your sword and magic universe. I will constantly attack, kill, and consume the flesh and blood of your sword and magic universe's beings. Next, I'll let your sword and magic universe perish. He roared with a menacing expression and laughed maniacally. There was no chance for him to face Wu Wang Tian head-on. He wouldn't allow Lu Lan and Wu Wang Tian to completely surround him. When Wu Wang Tian and Lu Lan heard his words, their bodies trembled violently. Their faces were exceptionally grim and embarrassed. Even their breathing was a little hurried. Both of them were confident that they could suppress the Aga Sky Fiend Celestial, but they weren't confident that they could kill him. Once he continued to flee and wreak havoc in their universe, there was nothing they could do. Chapter 40. Lu Lan, let's keep him here. We can't let him escape. Wu Wang Tian stared at Aga Sky Demon God with an ugly expression. He transmitted his voice to Lu Lan. We can't let Aga Sky Demon God leave the Devil's Abyss. Otherwise, once he leaves, the entire sword and sorcery universe won't be able to withstand his torment. He can simply fly to a city, a magic nation, and destroy it with a wave of his arm. The Devil's Abyss is still manageable. There are no humans here. We have to trap him here. All right, all disciples, leave the Devil's Abyss immediately. Lu Lan roared and moved. She raised the staff in her hand and attacked Aya Sky Demon God. Trying to trap me here? Then I'll play with you guys here. When the Aya Heavenly Devil God saw Lu Lan attacking him, he laughed maniacally. Let me see if your strength has improved over the years. He roared maniacally. Below them, roars of magical beasts could be heard coming from the 9th level of the Devil's Abyss. The magical beasts stared at the experts from the various sacred grounds and sacred college. Their blood-red eyes attacked them directly. Those magical beasts exuded a terrifying aura. There were only slightly over 1,000 magical beasts, but their strength was no lower than the 8th Order Universe Lord Realm. There were a total of 20 to 30 Pinnacle Universe Lord Realm Lords. Come on! Aga Sky Demon God laughed maniacally and roared loudly. He swept a cold glance at Qilin Bull. Qilin Bull, you'd better listen to my orders now and kill all these humans. Otherwise, I'll devour you completely. Aga Sky Demon God charged towards Wu Wantian and Lu Lan, the two Sky Yuan creation realm experts. Just now, when he was breaking through, he didn't sense Wang Xian's strength. He didn't sense what was happening here. Now that his strength had broken through, he didn't care about Qilin Bull anymore. If he wanted to kill Qilin Bull, it would be a piece of cake. Therefore, with a warning, he attacked the two divine creations of the Sword Universe and the Magic Universe. Only Wu Wangtian and Lu Lan were worthy of his attention. Leave this place! Wu Wangtian roared and charged at Aya Heavenly Demon God again. As for the magical beasts, they did not have the time to attack at all. If they attacked the demonic beasts, they were worried that the Aya Heavenly Fiend God would leave. Once he left this place, he would be in deep trouble. Wu Wantian and Lu Lan rushed towards Aga Heavenly Devil God. They flew into the sky and engaged in a great battle. His every move emitted a power that could destroy heaven and earth. Below, a group of demonic beasts rushed over. Run, run quickly! When the experts and disciples of the Innocence Forbidden Land and the Flowing Water Forbidden Land saw the thousands of demonic beasts, their expressions changed drastically, and they roared at the same time. The strength of these thousands of magical beasts was not something they could withstand. On their side, there were only a dozen peak universe ruler existences. Among the demonic beasts, there were 20 to 30 peak universe ruler realm beasts. The gap was too big. Stop them. Eat them. Don't let them escape. However, a scene that shocked them appeared. The thousands of demonic beasts suddenly roared. They launched terrifying long-range attacks at the same time. They wanted to stop them from escaping. On the 8th level of the magical beast abyss, the teleportation array was not complete yet. There were only 5 teleportation arrays. However, there were millions of experts and disciples around. These 5 teleportation arrays were not enough. They could only fly to the 7th level, where there were many teleportation arrays. However, this group of demonic beasts clearly did not want them to leave. They wanted to annihilate them. This group of demonic beasts, how can they speak the human language? They have powerful intelligence. They actually have intelligence. Hiss, not good, they want to keep us here. They have a lot more experts than us. Let's run. Block their attacks first. Otherwise, a large number of experts will be killed. Quick, block them. Shocked and angry voices came from the mouths of the peak universe rulers. These thousands of demonic beasts suddenly had intelligence. This shocked them to the core. Having intelligence and not having it were two completely different levels. Seeing the attacks of the demonic beasts, they could only block them. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Over 1 million universe ruler realm powerhouses launched their attacks against the thousands of demonic beasts. If Lu Lan and Wu Wangtian can't get rid of this Aga Sky demonic god, the disaster of the sword and sorcery universe is coming. Wang Xian hovered there, watching the battle in the sky. His eyes swept across the position below. He spoke. Just like at the beginning, the reason why Wang Xian dared not to show any respect to the two Sky Yuan Creation Realm experts was because he knew that the two Sky Yuan Creation Realm experts would not dare to fall out with him here. Because if they were to engage in a battle, they would not be able to keep Wang Xian here for good. This would be a disaster for the sword and sorcery universe. The destructive power of a Heaven Essence Creation Realm expert was extremely terrifying. Now, this Aga Sky demonic god clearly thought that he would not be suppressed by Lu Lan and Wu Wangtian. He was confident that he could escape, which was why he dared to be so brazen. And if Wu Wangtian and Lu Lan did not have a trump card to keep him here, then the sword and sorcery universe would be plunged into an abyss of misery. It would be extremely tragic. Big brother Wang Xian, can you? At the side, Long Yinyin saw the sudden outbreak of the battle and the appearance of a Sky Yuan Creation Realm enemy. His face was extremely pale. He looked at Wang Xian and opened his mouth, hoping to seek his help. Wang Xian, can you help us? Not far away, the barbarian saint stared at the group of demonic beasts with bloodshot eyes. He clenched his fists tightly and looked at Wang Xian. He could not help but shout. Long Yinhao and Lu Yu Saintus also looked at him. Among them, some universe ruler realm experts of the Dragon Roar Forbidden Ground also looked at Wang Xian. They knew that in this situation, if Wang Xian was willing to help, then it would be greatly alleviated. Otherwise, just the million universe ruler realm experts alone might die in the hands of this group of demonic beasts. As for Aga Sky Demonic God, they could not estimate. Wang Xian saw their gazes and looked at the battle above. His eyes flickered slightly. Lu Lan, Wang Tian, I'll help you destroy this Aga Sky Demonic God. I want his corpse. Wang Xian felt their battle power and destructive power and made a decision. Chapter 40-41. Lu Lan, Wang Tian, I'll help you kill Aya Sky Demon God. I want his corpse. Wang Xian's voice reverberated across the abyss of devilish beasts. All right, we guarantee with our lives and all the living beings in the sword and sorcery universe that if you help us kill Aya Sky Demon God, you will be the benefactor of our sword and sorcery universe. Aya Sky's corpse and everything else belong to you, Dragon King. The moment Wang Xian finished his sentence, Wang Xian did not hesitate to praise the passageway at Wang Qian's side. Without hesitation. Without any hesitation. Given the current situation, if Wang Xian was willing to help them, the crisis of their sword and sorcery universe could be easily resolved. It was difficult to kill a heavenly yuan creation level expert. They knew this. However, during the last cataclysm, they had a life and death battle. Both he and Lu Lan had chopped off Aya Sky Demon God's limbs. Although they did not manage to keep him. But they had severely injured him. At that time, if their sword and sorcery universe had another heavenly yuan creation level expert, then they would have 100% confidence in killing Aya Sky Demon God. Because the current Aya Sky Demon God was a little weaker during the cataclysm. What Wang Tian said is also what I, Lu Lan, said. Dragon King, I have ties with the Water Divine Dragon. Thank you for your help. As Wang Tian finished his sentence, Lu Lan also expressed her gratitude loudly. A blazing luster blossomed in their eyes. If they could kill Aya Sky Demon God, it would be a great blessing for their sword and sorcery universe. This meant they would have one less terrifying enemy when the cataclysm arrived. An enemy at the heavenly yuan creation level. As for Wang Xian's request, it was nothing. In fact, if Wang Xian wanted them to offer enough treasures in exchange for his help, they would also agree. Not to mention that he was willing to help them kill Aya Sky Demon God. All right. Upon hearing their words, Wang Xian smiled and looked at Qilin Bull. Thank you, boss. Qilin Bull knelt in the void and bowed to Wang Xian with excitement. He knew that Wang Xian wanted to eliminate Aya Heavenly Devil God for the sake of his own advancement. If he could really kill the Aya Heavenly Demon God, he would definitely be able to do so. If the Qilin Bull devoured it, the chances of it breaking through would increase to over 95%. It was such a terrifying probability. Because the Aya Heavenly Fiend God was now a heavenly primordial creation. No need! Wang Xian shook his head as he stared ahead. At this moment, Aya Demogorgon's face was filled with astonishment when he heard Wang and Liulan's words. What was going on? Did Lulan, Wang and the others have a heavenly origin creation level helper? Dragon King? He tried to sense it with his mind, but he couldn't sense any existence at the level of heavenly yuan creation. The only suspicious thing was the figure of the youth who made the Qilin Bull kneel down. He was clearly not a heavenly primordial creation. The heavenly yuan fortune art's reaction to the heavenly yuan fortune art was very accurate. According to his senses, Wang Xian was not a creation of heavenly yuan at all. However, at this instant, Wang Xian's physique changed. His void divine dragon body remained where it was. His true form had transformed into an incomparably terrifying divine dragon. 9-colored radiance shrouded him as the horrifying dragon aura swept across the area. His entire body was millions of kilometers long, comparable to the size of a giant star beast. Every single dragon scale shone with a bright luster. On the pair of dragon horns there was a dim glow. In the center, there was even a slightly illusory dragon wing. The dragon wing's 9-colored radiance swirled, mainly with wind and thunder attributes. The moment Wang Xian transformed into a divine dragon. The moment he let out a roar. In front of him, there was a group of magical beasts charging towards him. Thousands of magical beasts, with 20 to 30 pinnacle sovereign realm magical beasts. They fell from the sky, shivering, and sprawled on the ground. 9 Origins Dragon Realm! Wang Xian roared. Without any hesitation, he cast the Dragon Realm. 9 divine dragons flew out from his body. In an instant, they shrouded the entire area. They turned into 9-colored radiance. Other than that, the star space lock shone brightly, and stars appeared out of nowhere around him. Each and every one of them contained a terrifying amount of energy. He swayed his humongous body and flew forward. Huh! What? You're clearly not at the creation realm. How can you have such terrifying power? Damn it! You're not a living being from the sword and sorcery universe. You're from the divine dragon race of the 9 Origins universe. You're from the divine dragon race. As a veteran creation realm expert, Aga Sky Demon God had seen a lot. He recognized that Wang Xian was from the 9 Origins universe, the divine dragon race. His eyes widened as he roared in disbelief. He clearly sensed that Wang Xian was not from the creation realm. To existences at the creation realm like them, those below the creation realm were just pawns. They were just ants. They had an endless lifespan and the ability to destroy the heavens and earth. Those below the creation realm were nothing in their eyes, no matter what realm they were at. However, how could this divine dragon possess such terrifying strength? 9 attributes? A complete fusion of the 9 attributes. Aga Sky Demon God's exclamation rang out again. 9 attributes. He sensed that Wang Xian possessed 9 attributes. 9 attributes, coupled with the top-notch constitution in the universe. He found it unbelievable. The more attributes one had, the harder it was to cultivate. And the harder it was to break through. In the later stages, a breakthrough in the 9 attributes from the 6th to 7th order universe sovereigns would be comparable to other experts breaking through to the creation realm. Secondly, it did not mean that everyone could cultivate all 9 elements. The more attributes one had, the easier it was to lose control and explode. Their bodies would explode. Therefore, even though the Aga Sky Demon God was experienced and knowledgeable, this was the first time he had seen an expert with 9 attributes at such a level. Not to mention 9 attributes, he had rarely seen anyone with 5 attributes. Moreover, peak sovereign realm experts with 5 different attributes could only exchange blows with Tian Yuanzhe, and they were barely able to resist him. 9 attributes was even crazier. This was the first time he saw it. Leave him here and kill him! Wang Xian stared at Aga Sky Demon God. The planets in the surrounding stellar domain fragments revolved and surrounded him as he roared. As long as you help, Dragon King, Wu Wantian, will definitely chop off Aga Sky's head today. Wu Wantian let out a wild roar, his face filled with rage. Chapter 40-42 The Sword and Sorcery Universe and Aga Sky Demon God had a blood feud. If there was a chance, Wu Wantian and Lu Lan would want to destroy Aga Sky Demon God completely, even if it meant that both sides would be severely injured. In the previous cataclysm, Aga Sky Demon God led his army and slaughtered too many living beings of the Sword and Sorcery Universe, including their loved ones. Now that Wu Wantian saw a chance to destroy Aga Sky Demon God, he went berserk instantly. All right. Wang Xian nodded his head and replied loudly. Surround them. With our strength, we can annihilate them completely. Damn it, damn it! Aga Sky Demon God felt Wang Xian's aura and terrifying strength, and his expression changed drastically. Aga Sky Demon God was well aware of the strength of Lu Lan and Wu Wantian. In previous battles, even if they fought with their lives on the line, they could only severely injure him. It was impossible to destroy him. This was also the reason why he dared to be so unscrupulous. But now, he was shocked by the sudden appearance of a heavenly yuan or creation realm expert. An additional heavenly primordial fortune-level combat power was more than enough to completely annihilate him. He flapped his incomparably huge wings, and without the slightest hesitation, he instantly fled towards the back. The violent energy left a trail of horrifying marks. "Aga Sky, don't you dare escape today!" Lu Lan's eyes were cold and bloodshot as she roared furiously. She waved the magic staff in her hand and the book of water forbidden spells floated above her head. Immediately, a horrifying water dragon was released. The water dragon entangled Aga Sky Demon God. When Wang Xian saw Lu Lan's attack, he was shocked. He turned to Aga Sky Demon God and locked onto him. "Trying to escape? Dream on!" He moved his dragon claw and the star field fragment turned into a star that floated above his dragon claw. Waves of majestic energy surged into the star field fragment. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Buzz, buzz, buzz. At this moment, thousands of stars in the surroundings shone with horrifying brilliance at the same time. These stars carried all kinds of energy as they attacked Aya Sky Fiend Celestial. Countless stars rushed out. It was a very terrifying and spectacular sight. Is this the true strength of Big Brother Wang Xian? Below, the group of magical beasts no longer dared to move after Wang Xian made his move. Long Yinhao watched as Wang Xian transformed into a horrifying million-kilometer-long divine dragon. Seeing the terrifying stars in the surrounding starry sky charging over, his face was filled with shock. This scene was simply too shocking. At least visually, Wang Xian's attack was much more shocking than Wu Wangtian and Lu Lan's. No wonder Big Brother Wang Xian would seek an explanation for my matter. Big Brother Wang Xian's strength is too heaven-defying. Long Yinhao continued in shock as he looked at Wang Xian's void divine dragon body. "Big Brother, you really hit it well. I also just broke through not long ago," said Wang Xian with a faint smile. "This is really unbelievable. Holy Son Wang Xian, you actually came from another universe and are the king of a race from another universe. No wonder this body of yours can cultivate at such a terrifying speed, reaching such a level in just a few 100 million years." Saintess Luwa looked at Wang Xian and exclaimed in shock. At this moment, she was also very excited. The relationship between Long Yinhao and Wang Xian was needless to say. Now the matter between Wang Xian and the sword and sorcery universe had been resolved. In the future, Wang Xian would also be a respected existence in the sword and sorcery universe. With such a backer, Long Yinhao could be said to have reached the sky in a single bound. Such a reliable relationship was even stronger than the relationship between the Master of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land and Lu Lan. In the future, Long Yinhao would be the existence with the strongest background in the entire sword and sorcery universe. Naturally, she could also bask in the glory and was very happy. Around them, the barbarian saint, who knew Wang Xian, had his mouth agape as he looked at this scene in disbelief. Who would have expected Holy Son Wang Xian to be the king of a race from the Nine-Source universe? Is this a divine dragon? It's really terrifying. Yeah, Lord Lu Lan said that her breakthrough was due to the guidance of Lord Tian Yuan Zhao of the Divine Dragon race. The Divine Dragon race is really terrifying. Just this incomparably terrifying physique and this terrifying pressure are enough to make one's soul tremble. It's really amazing. Isn't the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land going to ascend to the heavens in a single step? Long Yinyin and Long Yinhao were the siblings who rose to the top in a single bound. In the past, this holy son Wang Xian took great care of them. This time, he even dared to go against us two Sky Yuan Fate realms for Long Yinhao. Now that everything has been resolved, who would dare to provoke them? In the surroundings, all the experts and disciples from the Sacred Grounds and the Sacred Institute were discussing. They looked at the body of Wang Xian's void divine dragon and the horrifying divine dragon in the sky. Their eyes were filled with deep respect. Such a figure was truly invincible. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, in front of them, One by one, the stars shot towards Aga, heavenly demon god. Now, Wang Xian was able to fight against the creation of Heaven Yuan without using any treasures of the same level with the help of the creation of Heaven Yuan fragment. With the help of the Heaven Yuan fortune fragment, his attack power became even more terrifying. Although Ajacin had lived a second life, his weapons and treasures from before were all gone. Under such circumstances, he had to deal with the attacks of the stars with all his might. Coupled with the attacks from Wu Wangtian and Lu Lan, he was completely suppressed. Even his chances of breaking through and escaping were minuscule. Damn it! Damn it! Damn the Divine Dragon Clan! Divine Dragon Clan, you guys have ruined my plans twice. In the future, I, Ajacin Demon God, will make you pay the price in blood. I'll make you pay a terrible price. Ajacin Demon God saw thousands of horrifying stars attacking him. His expression changed drastically as he roared with murderous intent. Boom! He flapped his wings violently, and went berserk instantly. Berserk! His strength increased tremendously in an instant. On its body, countless bone spurs attacked the planets one by one. Boom, boom, boom! Boom, boom, boom! The bone spikes blasted through the stars. But at this moment, the water dragon released by Lu Lan was also attacking him from behind. Breath of the Demon God. Ajacin Demon God looked at the water divine dragon. In his blood-red eyes, a violent torrent was released. The torrent condensed and charged towards the water divine dragon. Boom, boom. The violent breath of the demon god collided with the water divine dragon. It had completely blocked the attack. Chapter 40-43. Ajacin. Seeing Ajacin fending off the attacks of Wang Xian and Lu Lan, Wu Wangtian swung his giant axe at him. The universe of swords and sorcery was dominated by swordsmanship. But because of the giant axe in his hand, he gave up on using his previous swordsmanship. This was because the giant axe was also an extremely powerful treasure. It was a weapon that he had found in the chaos. Although Wu Wangtian did not possess the ability to go berserk, he looked extremely furious at this moment. This was a good opportunity for him to take revenge. The giant axe in his hand swung towards Ajacin Demon God. A dazzling golden radiance swung towards Ajacin Demon God. Arg! Ajacin Demon God was fending off the attacks of Wang Xian and Lu Lan. When he saw Wu Wangtian's giant axe attack, his expression changed drastically. He used his wings to block in front of him. He could only use his own defense and his physical body to block it. Now, he could only block 2 attacks from Wang Xian, Lu Lan, and Wu Wangtian at most. And this was under his berserk state. This was also the reason why he could fend off 2 existences of the same level. This was also the reason why he dared to be so arrogant just now. As long as he gave it his all, he would be able to block it. If he was really in danger, Lu Lan and Wu Wangtian would not be able to stop him even if he ran for his life. But things were different now. In his berserk state, he had exhausted all the energy he could muster to block the attacks of Wang Xian and Lu Lan. Against Wu Wangtian's attack, he could only use his physical strength to block it. Bam! Wu Wangtian's giant axe landed on the body of Ajacin Demon God, causing cracks to appear on the bones of his wings. His bones started to crumble. His body was sent flying backward, and blood flowed from his body. Dragon's Tomb! At this moment, Wang Xian dashed over. A humongous dragon's tomb appeared behind Ajacin Demon God out of nowhere. Shadows of divine dragons clawed at his body, intending to drag him into the dragon's tomb and kill him once and for all. Ajacin roared as the demon god's eyes appeared around him. The demon god's eyes collided with the shadows of divine dragons. Bam, bam, bam! The sound of a collision could be heard as the dragon tomb slowly split open. Forbidden curse technique, heavenly water, purify everything! Lu Lan let out a low roar as the staff in her hand floated above her. The book of water forbidden spells above his head shone brightly. A dark cloud appeared above Aga Sky Fiend Celestial, and a stream of water fell on him. This stream of water contained a terrifying destructive power. It was as if it could pierce through everything. Demon God's claw, tear! A heavenly demon god roared furiously when he saw Lu Lan's attack. He stretched out his demonic claws and grabbed at the dark clouds above him. Rip! The terrifying claws even tore through space. Die, die, die! Wu Wangtian's furious roar continued to ring out. He flew in front of Aga Heavenly Fiend Celestial again. The giant axe in his hand chopped down once again. He was tired of defending. At this moment, Aga Sky Demonic God was completely exhausted from defending against the attacks of Wang Xian, Lu Lan, and Wu Wantian. One terrifying attack after another. Every attack possessed the power to destroy the world. At his full strength, he could fend off one or two of them, but not all three of them. After all, the attacks of Wang Xian and the rest were no weaker than him. Run, run, run! I have to run! Seeing Wu Wangtian's attack, Aga Sky Fiend Celestial roared furiously in his heart. 111! In an instant, tens of thousands of doppelgangers appeared around him. Bam! Wu Wangtian's attack landed on Aga Sky Fiend Celestial once again. This time, many of the bones in his body were broken again, and a terrifying axe mark was left on his body. His body was also sent flying backward rapidly. However, the moment he was sent flying, his figure disappeared into the midst of the tens of thousands of doppelgangers. Swish, swish, swish! These tens of thousands of figures strangely turned into wisps of black smoke and fled in all directions. This one. Seeing Aga Sky Fiend Celestial trying to escape, Wang Xian bellowed. Water forbidden spell, thousand twist of heavy water. Wang Xian did not hesitate. The book of water forbidden spell floated in front of him and immediately released a water forbidden spell. Streams of water appeared in the sky and below. The streams of water formed a huge pattern, resonating from top to bottom. Following which, countless streams of water entangled a wisp of black smoke. Grr! Damn divine dragon, how did you discover me? Aga Sky Fiend Celestial was locked onto. His face was filled with rage and a tinge of fear. His escape technique was countered by Wang Xian. How did he do it? Hee, it won't be that easy to escape. You have just broken through to the creation realm of Heavenly Yuan, and you're already so arrogant? Wang Xian stared at Aga Sky Fiend Celestial with a cold expression. He had the unbeginning sacred wings and the ability to locate enemies in the void. Now that the 9 attributes were fused, every strike of Wang Xian's contained the power of locating enemies in the void. It was very easy to find out where his real body was. Countless streams of water entangled him and strangled him. Great! Blood boiling, explode. Lu Lan's eyes lit up when she saw Wang Xian locking on to Aga Sky Fiend Celestial. She pointed her staff forward. Droplets of water rained down on Aga Sky Fiend Celestial. Scram! When the Aya Sky Demon God saw the continuous attacks, a look of fear appeared on his face. Some of the bones on his wings broke and turned into blood-red blades that attacked in all directions. Indiscriminate attacks. This was a move that dealt a heavy blow to the enemy and a heavy blow to himself. He had started to fight with all his might. He knew that if he did not fight with all his might, he might really be killed today. He had just broken through to the creation realm of Heavenly Yuan today. He had just lived his second life. Was he going to be killed just like that? He could not accept it. However, at this juncture, he could only fight with all his might. He could only fight with all his might. He was no match for Wang Xian and the other two. In fact, he was not even qualified to fight back. Arrogant. This time, he was the one being arrogant. He had not expected an expert like Wang Xian to appear in the universe of swords and sorcery. Aga Sky, even if I'm severely injured today, I, Wu Wangtian, will kill you! When Wu Wantian saw this horrifying attack, he didn't feel the slightest bit of fear. He wore a golden armor that covered his entire body. He resisted the attack of Aga Sky Fiend Celestial and slashed at him. He was prepared to exchange injury for injury. Not only Aga Sky Fiend Celestial would fight with all his might. he would too. Chapter 40-44 Roar, Roar, Roar! When demon god Aegeus saw Wu Wantian attacking him with all his might, his face revealed a trace of anger and fear as he roared. There was a tinge of panic on his face. Now that his method of escape had been seen through by Wang Xian, Wu Wantian was fearless. Even if he had to suffer injuries, he had to inflict serious damage on him. With Lu Lan and Wang Xian around, he was powerless to resist. I have to escape! I have to escape! Aegeus Sky Demon God roared in his heart. I have to escape! I have to escape at all costs. Otherwise, I might really be finished. I might really die here. It was hard for Creation Realm experts to die. But if I don't escape today, I will definitely die. This was because Lu Lan and Wu Wangtian would not give up as long as they had a chance to kill him, even if they were severely injured. Bam, bam, bam! Aegeus Sky Demon God gritted his teeth. Looking at the huge axe that was charging at him, he wrapped his wings around himself and forcefully defended himself. The horrifying huge axe landed on his wings. This time, a large piece of bone on his right wing was sliced off. His entire right wing was completely chopped off. His body flew backwards in an instant. Heaven Ascension, Tian Qian! Aegeus Sky Demon God felt the excruciating pain coming from his wings. His eyes were bloodshot when he witnessed this scene. Blood began to drip. In the next instant, his body began to disintegrate into countless bone fragments. Countless blood-red bone shards flew in all directions. Some of the bone fragments even tore through the void, creating a black hole in front of them. Heaven Ascension, Tian Qian! This was another method of escape for Aegeus Sky Demon God. As a veteran heavenly origin creation, he had many escape methods. And this method required him to sacrifice his own blood and energy. He would need at least a few billion years to recover from such exhaustion. He's still trying to escape. Lu Lan's eyes narrowed when she saw this. In the dark clouds above, water droplets fell towards the blood-red bone fragments. It was as though they were going to drip into them and lock onto them. He can't escape. Wang Xian revealed a cold expression. With the help of the unbeginning sacred wings, he could sense the exact location of a heavenly demon god. This time, his mental power wasn't limited to a single bone fragment. Instead, it was on more than 10 bone fragments. If any of the bone fragments escaped, he would be able to escape completely. Heavenly Dragon 9 Shadows! Wang Xian let out a deep roar. With a slight shake of his body, shadows of divine dragons appeared around him. 9 dragon shadows charged towards the 9 bone fragments. At the same time, he waved his arm, and the book of forbidden water spells fell into his hand. Wang Xian flipped to the 8th page of the book of forbidden spells and a surge of energy gushed into it. Buzz! The image of a goddess appeared on the 8th page of the book of water forbidden spells. The goddess had 18 arms, and they immediately attacked the other 7 bone shards. His speed was terrifying. Damn it, how can he still lock onto me? How is this possible? How is this possible? At this moment, Agatha Heavenly Demonic God was horrified to see Wang Xian's attack locking onto him. So be it if it was the first time he was locked on. Now, it was locked on the second time as well. How could this be possible? Attack the bone shards that I'm attacking. Wang Xian shouted as he launched his attack. Great! Wu Wantian and Lu Lan's eyes lit up. I've locked onto 5 of them, and they are all locked onto by you, Dragon King. It seems like you have a special way to lock onto your enemies. Lu Lan shouted at Wang Xian loudly with excitement written all over her face. Sure, it's hard for him to break free from my lock. Wang Xian replied. Great, divine axe, Kai Yuan! Wu Wantian roared. He raised the giant axe in his hand, and waves of daunting energy shrouded the front. He slashed forward, and golden axes appeared one after another, attacking the 17 bone shards. Divine Dragon Clan, all of you deserve to die. All of you deserve to die. Agatha, heavenly demonic god, was infuriated to see himself being locked on. He gathered all the bone shards together again. Ignoring the attacks from Wang Xian and Wu Wangtian, he fled far away. The mountain is water, the sky is water, the earth is water, everything is water. Lu Lan stood at the back, raised the staff in her hand, and murmured. Along with her words, a mountain of water appeared. The sky turned into water. The ground also turned into water. The entire world seemed to have undergone a huge change. This move of his took a full second to chant and cast. For a Sky Yuan creation level expert, this was enough to counter thousands of attacks in a second. Moreover, this attack that required a second to chant was naturally terrifying. No, no, no. I can't accept this. Agatha, heavenly demonic god, felt the attack coming from behind him and bellowed in frustration. He couldn't accept this. He couldn't accept this. He couldn't accept this. He had just lived his second life. Our Sky Yuan creation level experts have completely suppressed that demonic god. They might even be able to kill him. With the addition of the Dragon King, that demonic god won't dare to be arrogant anymore. He might even be killed by the three of you. That's great, that's great. From the history of our sleepless Forbidden Land, I can see that during the last cultivation calamity, he killed at least 100 billion of our comrades in our sword and sorcery universe, or even more. During the last cultivation calamity, this Agatha, heavenly demonic god, led his subordinates and attacked the center of our universe. The entire abyss of devil beasts was formed in that great battle. Countless living beings in our universe were killed by him. Now, we can finally take revenge. A battle between Sky Yuan creation level experts is so terrifying. The three of you are already far away from us, but it's still so terrifying. That Dragon King from the Nine Source universe is so strong. He's not even at the Sky Yuan creation level, but he's already so strong. He has 9 attributes, and in addition to his space attribute body, he has a total of 10 attributes. That's terrifying. What level of talent is that? Yeah, cultivating all 10 attributes. That's really terrifying and heaven-defying. I'm afraid he's an exceptionally rare existence even in all the universes. At the same time, all the experts and disciples at the back saw this scene and their faces were filled with shock and excitement. Now, that demonic god was completely suppressed. He might even be annihilated. Many experts knew that Agatha, heavenly demonic god, was the greatest enemy of the universe. If they could annihilate him, it would be a blessing for their universe. At this moment, everyone looked at Wang Xian with even more respect and fear. This Dragon King was too heaven-defying. Chapter 40-45 Rumble, Rumble, Rumble. The battle was still going on. Terrifying energy reverberated across the area. Lu Lan and Wangtian were in a killing frenzy. They only had Aegea Sky Demon God in their sights. All of their energies were locked onto him. This made things easier for Wang Xian. All he had to do was to attack normally. The hatred between Aegea Sky Demon God and the sword and sorcery universe was beyond Wang Xian's imagination. Lu Lan, Wangtian, you want me dead. Even if I die, I'll make you pay a terrible price. I'll make the sword and sorcery universe pay the price. Aegea Sky Demon God's injuries were increasing. The despair in his eyes was increasing. There was one more Sky Yuan creation realm existence. This was just his only body. He had just broken through to the Sky Yuan creation realm. He didn't even have the treasure to revive him. Once he died, he would be truly dead. It was a complete and utter death. Now, because of Wang Xian, he was completely locked onto during his 2 attempts at escaping. He knew that Wang Xian had a terrifying ability to lock onto him. Given the hatred between Lu Lan and Wangtian, there was a high possibility that he would die here today. He could die, but he would make the sword and sorcery universe pay the price. Today I, Wangtian, will chop off your head as a tribute to the lives of the sword and sorcery universe that have perished. Wangtian raised his battle axe and roared. His entire body was expanding rapidly until he was 1,000 meters tall. Boom! Wangtian charged out and engaged in close combat with Aegea Sky Demon God. Lu Lan waved the magic staff in his hand. Energy shrouded the surroundings to prevent Aegea Sky Demon God from escaping. At the same time, he injected streams of water into Wangtian's body to strengthen his defense and recovery ability. Roar, roar! Wang Xian raised his head. The star field fragment was suspended above him. Stars were revolving above him. One by one, the stars attacked Aegea Sky Demon God. The terrifying energy blotted out the sky and covered the sun. Aegea Sky Demon God was in a terrible state. He flapped his wings and dodged with all his might. Now, he could no longer put up any resistance. He couldn't defend against the joint attack of Wang Xian and the other two. Arg! However, no matter how hard he tried to resist, facing the attack of Wang Xian and the rest, they still couldn't avoid it. As he dodged Heavenless attack, his body was struck by a star. He let out a wild roar and let out a blood-curdling scream. Sky Demon Disintegration! He roared again, his eyes filled with a crazed look. Heavenly Devil Disintegration! Last time, Aegea Tian used this move to escape. It was also because of this move that his 4 limbs were left behind. When Lu Lan saw Aegea Demon God's move, she immediately warned Wang Xian loudly. At this moment, Wang Xian saw the body of a heavenly devil god divided into 20 to 30 body parts. A head, 4 limbs, eyes after eyes, and 2 wings. There were also his chest and some bones. He quickly fled in all directions and into the distance. Seeing this, Wang Xian's eyes narrowed. With a wave of his arm, the 5 elements grindstone and the Tai Chi dragon coil flew out and attacked the pupils. At the same time, Wang Xian shook his body and split into 9, attacking the limbs one by one. The star domain fragment and the book of water forbidden spells also swept towards the body parts of Aegea Demon God. Each of the 28 body parts contained a terrifying amount of energy. They fled madly in all directions. Lu Lan and Heavenless immediately intercepted them. They also had powerful means of intercepting them. Stay here! The limbs were enveloped by Wang Xian and the rest with their energy. At this moment, the head of Aegea Demon God flew towards the back, towards the experts from the Sacred Grounds and Sacred Institute. Since you guys want to kill me, I'll make the Sword and Magic Universe pay a terrible price. I'll make all the experts from the Sword and Magic Universe die with me! The head of Aegea Demon God roared with a frenzied expression. The eyes on his head had disappeared and he looked exceptionally horrifying. However, the energy contained in them was horrifying. Don't even think about killing the disciples of the Sword and Magic Universe. Lu Lan's eyes were extremely cold. He waved the magic staff in his hand and the water condensed into a giant hand that grabbed at his head. Arg! In the next instant, the giant hand grabbed the head of Aegea Demon God. His head let out a blood-curdling screech. Pfft! However, the moment he was grabbed, he suddenly opened his mouth and spat something out. It was an eye. In the eye, there was a crazed face. This face broke through the shackles of the eye and turned into the horrifying face of a demon god. The face of the demon god expanded crazily and continued to attack the experts and disciples. Oh no! Lu Lan's expression changed slightly when she saw this. Oh no, that demon god is targeting us. Run, run! Oh no, the demon god wants to kill us. We're no match for him. Run, run! Hide! Quickly hide! This face isn't something we can withstand. At this moment, all the pinnacle sovereigns from the Sacred Grounds and Sacred Institute were horrified when they saw this face. They immediately attacked the face of the demon god and ordered all the experts and disciples to flee immediately. Die, die, die! Lu Lan, Wang Tian, I've said that even if I die, I'll make your sword and sorcery universe pay a terrible price. Ha ha, die, die! Aegea Demon God roared crazily. At this moment, he no longer wished to escape. But before he died, he wanted to kill the experts of the sword and sorcery universe. Once these experts died, the sword and sorcery universe would still suffer a terrible disaster when the cataclysm arrived. Ajia Tian, you're courting death! Up ahead, when Wu Wan Tian saw this scene, his expression changed drastically as he roared madly. Big brother Wang Xian, run! Long Yin and Long Yin Hao paled when they saw Ajia demon gods attack. Facing a demon god created by Tian Yuan, they knew the horror of this level. Even a mere face was enough to make them feel fear and despair. They screamed in panic at Wang Xian's void divine dragon body. Hee, don't worry. Wang Xian smiled faintly when he saw them. Netherworld dragon transformation. With a move of his mind, Wang Xian's real body merged with the void divine dragon body. If the three of us can still let you do anything when we're ganging up on you, then we'll be trash. Wang Xian looked up at the face of the demon god, shook his head, and sneered, You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.